It is Wednesday. It is hump day here in North Carolina, and it is time for the Desmond Johnson Show. Welcome. I'm your host, Desmond Johnson, here on Tobacco Road Sports Radio, tobaccoroadsportsradio.com. Make sure you check out our Best of the Week on terrestrial radio here in the Triad. You can hear us every Friday in Greensboro, WWBG 1470 AM, and in Winston-Salem on WTOB 980 AM. 96.7 FM. Demetri Ravanos in the house from Awful Announcing is going to help me figure out this whole what happened to the SEC during bowl season situation. And we'll talk about the rise of the Indiana Hoosiers as we wrap up college football. And of course, one of the co-hosts of the podcast, This Team is Killing Us, regarding the Carolina Panthers. Maybe they're not killing you so much anymore. Kind of maybe ended on a good note. So we'll kind of sort of good.
We'll see how free agency goes.
Yeah, we'll see how free agency goes. So we got him in the house for that. Ryan Stone will be in for best bets also as well to get you ready for the weekend. It's conference championship weekend, and we'll get you ready for all that and more. Let's go ahead and roll that intro. It's the Desmond Johnson Show. It's a Wednesday.
Live with Desmond Johnson, son, the live is one. Represent NC to the fullest.
Yeah, welcome to the Carolinas. Everywhere you go, the sky is Carolina blue, the finest. Live action, feedback, the city need that. I've been number one, no cap. Here's the recap. Adrenaline is my addiction. I'm about to relapse. Step on the turf if you won't and get your weed whack. I'm going harder than a martyr on the slaughter end. It's the heart of man, that's a rap like a cardigan. I'm breaking records, it's 4th and inches, I count the seconds. The over-under's my roar of thunder, my secret weapon. Yeah, the game is to be told. I don't break, I break modes. Follow me on Tobacco Road.
Live with Desmond Johnson, son, the live is one. Represent NC to the fullest.
And again, welcome into the Desmond Johnson Show here on Tobacco Road Sports Radio. Make sure you rate and subscribe over at the YouTube channel, youtube.com/at Tobacco Road Sports Radio. Brought to you by Nikki Rottweiler at Head Realty Group EXP. Demetri Ravanos in the house, friend of the program from Awful Announcing, columnist, podcast host, you name it, does a little bit of everything. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Man, just out here trying to get mine in this content creator world.
So of course, so Demetri's one of the biggest Alabama fans that I'm aware of that's in the media that I talk to, and by default that means that he's an SEC guy as well. And the SEC kind of going through it a little bit here this postseason. What were they, 1-9 or something in bowl games or something crazy?
So it's a weird record because of the way games were played, right? They were 4-10, but 2 of those 4 wins were in playoff games that were SEC versus SEC. So, if you scrub those, yeah, I guess you would be talking 2-8, I think.
That's because that brings me to where the initial part is with Indiana beating Miami in the national championship on Monday night in an instant classic, 27-21. First national championship in Indiana school history. First 16-0 team since the 1848 Yale team that went 16-0, which I did not know until towards the end of that football game. I didn't think it was possible to play 16 games in a college football season until we got to this year. Before we get into the SEC talk, thoughts on this Indiana team? Where would you rank them amongst national champions in your lifetime?
Oh, in my lifetime. Oh,
yeah.
Man, that brings in a whole lot more teams. I was thinking within the playoff era, I was going to say, I think they are number 4. And that's just in the playoff era. I think I would go 19 LSU, and this is in no particular order. 19 LSU, 20 Alabama, 18 Clemson. And I think
put them before this Indiana team.
Yeah, I think they could go blow for blow with 21 Georgia, but I'm not positive they would win that game. The Indiana championship is really interesting to me because it's so rare in this sport that we get to see a first time ever champion. Like if memory serves, I think the last time we could say that, you are going all the way back to 1990 with Colorado, who only won a share of the national championship that year. So that is very cool, and that is worth celebrating. That doesn't necessarily mean this is an underdog story, right? This is, I think, proof positive that we are in a new era of college football where you need a game plan and a benefactor, a game plan when it comes to how you're going to spend your money. It doesn't mean Indiana cheated, doesn't mean their national championship is any less valid than any of the ones that came before it. It just means we are undeniably now in a new era of college football.
And I see people going, well, Indiana did it now, such and such university should be able to do it too. But Kurt Signettes don't grow on trees. Like, people tend to forget that all this happened because of him and like what he brought in.
And that's what I mean by having a plan for how you're going to spend money. It is not just about, you have Mark Cuban as a benefactor now go out and raid the portal. No, Kurt Signettes brought in guys that he was familiar with. And not only that, he brought in a bunch of old dudes, right?
Yeah.
Like, Indiana's average age was almost 24 years old. And so, and so
arena football team.
Actually, I think I saw they would be only the second youngest average team in the NFL this season. And I can't remember who was below them, but the point being, like, Phil Knight has been spending money for for Oregon for years. A&M's boosters have been spending money for that team for years. It's not just about, do you have the money? It's about, do you have the money and the vision to make the new era of college football work for you?
Yeah. And again, this isn't a flash in the pan type thing either, because they were like this last year, and it felt like when they got to the college football playoff, they were just kind of happy to be there. But it also it almost looked like it kind of ignited something where they're like, oh, we've done that. We can get here. Now that we're here, let's just go. And I'm sitting there trying to figure out who would I compare them to. And I'm looking at their schedule and who they played and like who they beat. And I'm kind of stuck at 3 behind 2001 Miami and 2004 USC, like, because of who they played and who they beat. I mean, it's kind of like, people want to put them down, but I'm like, but look at the results. Like what they did. It's crazy.
Totally hear you. And that is like part of what makes this topic both fun and frustrating, is there's no way to know for sure, because you're not only talking about teams that will never play, you're talking about vastly different eras.
Yeah.
Sport. I mean, 95 Nebraska belongs in that conversation, because I'm not sure who's stopping Tommy Frazier on any roster.
Good team. Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
You roll back even deeper into history, 71 Alabama would have to be in this conversation. You want to go forward, you would go into the BCS era. I know they came in flawed, didn't win the SEC, came in with a loss. I'm not sure who had a better defense than 2011 Alabama. I mean, you think about not only the national championship game, but also the game against LSU in the regular season. I think, if I remember correctly,
it was like 9-6 or something like that.
That's right. That's right. Just a missed field goal festival in that first game. But those two rosters combined for, I think, 36 NFL players. Maybe not draft picks, but certainly players.
See, and that's why I go with 2001 Miami, because literally that stretch from 2000, 2001, 2, and 3, I think they put like 60 people in the NFL, like 30 first round. It was something ridiculous. And like, even after that 01 team left, the guys that came in, there were underclassmen that step up. You're replacing, Ed Reed with Sean Taylor.
I mean, the only thing that kids that were not alive for that 01 Miami team need to know is Ken Dorsey was their quarterback, and they still rolled over everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect example. Ken Dorsey is probably the weak link in that, that whole situation there. Got Demetri Ravanos here from Awful Announcing. You can follow his work on X. Demetri, I wanted to get into the SEC talk, more specifically Alabama, and how you're feeling about that, because there was a lot of smoke about Kalen DeBoer and what's happening with Alabama's fan base's expectations have been heightened to a degree because of Mr. Nick Saban and what he did over 20 years. And how are you feeling?
Okay.
How are you feeling right now?
With all due respect, Des, you are wrong. We have been like this forever, because before Nick Saban, there was Bear Bryant.
It was Bear Bryant. You had a dip there, like in the
my God! While I was look right above me, there's my degree from the University of Alabama. While I was in school there, we went through 4 coaches in 4 years. We won a total of 4 games or less. So 1 3-win season, 1 4-win season. That happened twice while I was there. Yeah, it was bad. it was bad. The 80s were real bad. In the 90s, we had Gene Stallings, who was a really consistent winner, won a national championship. And then between Stallings' retirement and Saban coming to town, it's the darkest days of the program. And I don't think people that are of an age that only know Saban or are, like from up here where college football was not the national thing it was before that. I don't think they get how quickly Alabama can go back to that because there are so many warring factions within the booster corps. And this is something that is easy to disguise when what you are paying guys under the table is like $50,000 for, $50,000 total over the course of 4 years. There's not a ton of money in the Alabama booster corps. I've been joking with people that, you look at what Larry Ellison, who is the second richest man in the world. His wife is a Michigan grad. He reportedly bankrolled the Bryce Underwood recruitment. I'm going to need Bama sorority girls to get on Twitter and start telling Elon Musk he's cool and funny, because I think it's the only way. I think it's the only way that Alabama is going to be able to ensure that they can live up to that standard. We're in a brave new world of college football. I think as an X&O head coach, I think Kalen DeBoer is very good. I think that the standard is ridiculous, A. And B, it's a fan base that is so proud to be bad as long as we can tell you about the old days. And that's tough. That's going to be tough moving forward. Like when I was in school there, this is just an example of who the Alabama fan base is. Do you remember Mike Price?
Vaguely.
Okay. Mike Price was the guy that put Washington State on the map. When Dennis Franchione leaves Alabama for A&M after a long search where they hear a bunch of no's, Mike Price finally says yes. Mike Price got fired before he coached a game because he used a university credit card at a strip club in Pensacola, Florida. But before we get to that, his introductory press conference in Tuscaloosa, he said that his goal, keep in mind, this is pre-Saban, right? He said that his goal was to be the second best coach in Alabama history, giving deference to Bear Bryant. I remember thinking, God, what a loser. And my uncle, who was also a Bama grad, who was there for the Bear Bryant years, like that brought a tear to his eye. Like that's exactly what he wanted to hear. It's the priorities are really weird with the fan base. I will attest to that.
So do you think, the Big Ten has won the past 3 national championships, Michigan, Ohio State, now Indiana. Do you feel like, especially with the Big Ten generating more television revenue than currently what the SEC is doing per school, no other conference doles out more money to their schools than the Big Ten currently at the moment. Do you feel like the Big Ten has surpassed the SEC, with the results that we've had on the table the past 3 years? Or do you just feel like it was a blip this year? Alabama will be back. Georgia will be back.
Yeah.
These schools will be back.
So I'm of two minds. The first one is, and I'm going to be totally honest with you, Des, like we've known each other a long time. Maybe you know this about me. Maybe you don't. I genuinely don't care. I'm not an SEC guy. I want Alabama to go 12-0. I want everyone else to go 0-12.
That's refreshing because normally the SEC is the only conference I can think of where the fans like root for the conference. And I'm like, it'd be weird for like the ACC fans to like root for Duke.
Hang on, Des, you are from North Carolina. You and I know the same people in the North Carolina sports world. Mm-hmm. They all acted like Clemson's national championships were their own national championships.
That's because we were thirsty. That's all that was.
Completely miss me with this idea that the SEC is the only conference that reaches the conference.
Maybe it's a football thing. I don't know, basketball, I can't see it. But
I'll tell you this too. There is an element of the SEC fan base that roots for the conference, but that element is South Carolina, Missouri, Mississippi. Like, don't take that away from those people. What else do they have? So, like, I kind of don't agree with you. But to your point about the Big Ten and the amount of money that's doled out, I think what is really important to understand is ratings-wise, the SEC still dominates. Mm-hmm. And this is the reality. And it's something that the SEC is going to have to come to terms with. Those Big Ten schools are all big public land grant institutions that for years have had enrollments of 30,000 plus and kids graduate and they go all over the country. All of those schools are good schools. They produce high earning alumni. Certainly the SEC produces high earning alumni. Now, a lot of them are over 30,000 enrollment. But when I was in school at Alabama, you graduated and there was like a joke. Okay, are you going to Birmingham, Nashville, or Atlanta? Like the SEC alumni base did not spread out in a way that made the SEC as necessary a national product as the Big Ten was, as early as the Big Ten was. And I think that's helping them right now.
So let me switch us over real quick before I get you out. One of the things we've been doing since the Panthers are now officially in their off season is inviting Panther content creators on to kind of give us their thoughts on the Panthers season and what's going to happen next and everything to that end. And you are co-host of This Team Is Killing Us, along with a friend of the program, Lauren Brownlow, where you guys basically dissect Carolina Panthers each week. And this was a roller coaster of a season for sure. I wanted you to tell me, now that we're in the off season, in your mind, what are the three biggest needs for the Carolina Panthers this offseason? It can be personnel, it can be getting Jero Evero out of the state, it can, whatever it is. Like, give me those three that for you personally, you want to see the Panthers do this offseason.
Okay, I'm going to give you three, but I am going to put a big asterisk. Like, this is not one of my three. Obviously, Icky being out for the year changes a lot, right? Yeah. Number one is you need a star. I mean, like a bona fide superstar. We cannot have a roster of everybody developing together if you're going to take the next step. So go out and get, whether it's Max Crosby, whether it's Minkah Fitzpatrick, go out and get somebody that makes you better today. That would be number one. Number two, I guess if your star were Minkah Fitzpatrick, it would fill this, but like, for the love of God, get somebody that will allow you to slide Trayvon Marine back to free safety. Go get a real strong safety. And then the other one, and this one is not as popular with a lot of people, but I do believe that it is true. You need a burner at wide receiver. I love the wide receiving core. Even XL, if you are going to move XL to being third on the depth chart and not second, I can take him a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I like the size. I like the ability. What you're missing is somebody that can go out and run past everybody. And so whether that is like the Colts, Alec Pierce, who is going to be a free agent, would probably cost you way too much, or sitting where you're sitting in the draft. If you're going to keep the pick, Casey Concepcion might be that guy. I don't necessarily want to use the first round pick on offense again, but if he fills that need, I could live with that.
Now and I'm familiar with him. He went to school at Chambers in high school. And I know he's bounced around a lot in the portal now. I guess he's declaring for the draft. So you don't think Jimmy Horn Jr. can fill that role?
I mean, can he fill it next year? Probably not.
Yeah. And honestly, when you think about it, when he was in, it was mainly jet sweeps towards the end of the season. So that kind of tells me either he's not grasping the playbook completely, or they just can't figure out a way to get him on the field.
I think the fact that that Trevor Etienne was the returner this year tells you that there was a lot of disconnect with Jimmy in camp, because, like, my God, Trevor was not good at returning kicks, and he was not even like clearly the most naturally suited guy for that. And I always believed there had to be something wrong with Jimmy in camp. When he was out there, they used him in a lot of different ways. You're right. They did use him on jet sweeps, but there were times Bryce was going to him over the middle. Like, he would, whether he would catch it or not, the ball would go to Jimmy and Jimmy would instantly get blown up and he'd pop right up and be out there. I think that certainly you want Jimmy to develop, but I think the fact that you are asking Jimmy to play this role that is so varied and undefined tells me you are missing a key piece that could have everybody slot into their role. I like Coker as the number 2 receiving option. Coker should be in the slot. Should be in the slot. Go get a burner to play on the outside alongside T-Mac.
I don't know if that's an easy sell to the Panther fan base, drafting a wide receiver for the third straight year in the first round. But
listen, it's why I would rather see them address it in free agency, because I think personally, pick number 19, you're not going to get someone that helps you tomorrow. Trade it for a star.
Dan Morgan's prone to do something like that, whether up or down the board, to get extra picks, because they still need some depth too, right? In terms of behind folks.
If they are going to take a first round pick, I get what Dan Morgan's goal is. I need Dan Morgan to grow some balls. I need Dan Morgan to go out and get people that are going to make a difference tomorrow. So if he is insistent on taking a first-round pick, please move up. Go get Caleb Downs. Go get Caleb Downs. That is the best player in the draft, period. Sure, if you're not going to get Caleb Downs, if you want to get Reuben Bain, David Bailey, Keldrick Falk of Auburn, who actually would play more on the line than as an edge rusher. Like, I think all three of those guys make your defense better tomorrow. But honestly, Des, 19 is such a weird spot to be picking if you're looking for someone that really does raise the talent level of this roster.
Yeah, I don't think Dan's going to stay there, to be honest. I think he is either going to move up to like into the top 15 if they have their eye on somebody, or they'll just trade down and get some extra picks in the second.
Who do you think he would have his eye on if he's trading up but not into the top 10?
I don't know. I kind of feel like this draft is weak, to be honest. Like, as I look through it, I'm like, there's not anybody really where I'm like, ooh, I want that guy. So it's like
interesting. Like, right. Like, so tying this back to our earlier conversation about Bama, like if you're Ty Simpson, you had to go out this year, right? Like, the class is weak enough that you're going to be a first round pick. You probably wouldn't be if you came back to school.
Right.
I think this is a really strong edge rusher class. I think given the nature of the way football is played at the collegiate level now, every wide receiver class is going to be pretty strong. After that, I don't know where it is strong in the sense that you find guys ready to start on day one. Yeah. Like, I think there's talent. I just don't know where you find guys ready to start on day one outside of those two positions.
Are you and Lauren still going once a week with this team is killing us now that the season's over? Or
so we are taking a break until the Super Bowl is over, because, you know, I mean, it's a Panther show and all the news right now is about everybody but the Panthers. So
yeah.
So we'll put the show on the shelf for right now, but we will be back after the Super Bowl. In the meantime, I write every week at Awful Announcing, and you know, just follow me. The best place to find my stuff is on Instagram at D Ravanos.
There you go. So Demetri Ravanos there giving us a check-in on the Panthers and the state of college football as we end a 2025 season with the Indiana Hoosiers, 16-0, undefeated, national champions, Kurt Cignetti, the pride of Elon. Thanks for coming through, Demetri. We appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no problem, Des.
All right, and there he goes. That's Demetri Ravanos there. And I bring in my guy, Ryan Stone, who checks in with us for best bets. Ryan, what's up, man? How you doing?
Good, man. How about you?
I'm good. I'm looking for – there it is. So, of course, it's conference championship weekend, and I figure you're going to get that, even though it's Wednesday. I know odds are out and everything else. Before we get to the NFL stuff, is there anything between now and the weekend that you're looking at bet-wise in the ACC, NBA, or anything else going on?
I did take the over in the UNC and Notre Dame game tonight.
What is the over?
It's 148.5. I looked right before I came on, which is what it was when I took it. I mean, they're not playing defense. UNC's not playing defense.
No, they're not.
They score a lot of points. 148.5 seems really low to me. So I took the over in that one.
That'd be like a 77, 75 kind of type game.
That would be I would put it over. Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're both going to get in the 80s. I don't know what. I mean, everyone in the country at this point has probably seen me and PJ and B-Dot complain over what UNC is not doing.
Yep.
They just seem to not want to defend the three. Either that, or my theory was that over the past 3 games, teams have come in and their game plan is we're going to shoot volume threes on this team because they don't defend them. Because if you look at the amount of threes that are being attempted, these teams are attempting 35, 40 threes against Carolina, and it's like it's almost insulting. It's like if they don't hit them, it's like, so what? We were supposed to lose this game anyway. But if they hit them and they end up winning, it's like, oh, you beat Carolina. And it's like Carolina fans are confused, but this happens every year. Like, this happened when Roy Williams was here. Like, this happened when Dean was here. Like, they've always been calling for the Carolina coach's head. So I think they'll be okay tonight. They better be okay tonight, because if they lose Notre Dame at home,
that's a must-win tonight for them.
Yeah, then I'll just have JP Mundy's voice in my head talking about Hubert being on the hot seat and all this other stuff. And I've been adamant he's not on the hot seat. He's going to be here forever, yada, until he steps down. It's tough days, tough times.
I think his seat's getting a little warm.
It is getting a little toasty, yeah. So I'm sure he knows it. The players seem to be aware of it. We had former players chiming in on our show Sunday night when we went live. Theo Penson and others, they were coming in there talking as well. And now they're starting to be vocal on Twitter about it. See, I saw Joel Berry's post yesterday regarding it. So what else you got besides the Tar Heels not playing defense later on tonight, 7 o'clock.
So for the AFC Championship game on Sunday, obviously the interest in that game has taken quite a bit of hit with Bo Nix being hurt, but I do think there's maybe been, in terms of the spread, a little bit of an overreaction. The initial early line that came out before the Bo Nix injury, the look-ahead line, if they were to play the Patriots, the Broncos were going to be a 1.5-point favorite. So we're talking about a 7-point correction because of Bo Nix being out, which is a lot.
That's at Denver. Denver's the 1 seed.
And it's at Denver. It's at Denver. Sean Payton is the head coach. Sean Payton, as an underdog in the playoffs, has fared extremely well. So I'm not going to take the full game, but I am going to take the Broncos in the first half plus 3.5, because I do think that defense can muck it up for a half and keep them close. And I think we're going to see a type of game where Sean Payton's going to pull out all the stops. Like, we're going to see the wide receiver pass. We're going to see stuff we haven't seen all year. So I do think Denver will come out and at least keep things interesting for the first half. So I like the Broncos plus 3.5 in the first half.
I'm so conflicted in that game because I hate the Patriots. Everyone knows this. Like, I can't stand them. And the thought of them being in the Super Bowl is like, I can't wrap my mind around it. But I love Drake May, former Carolina quarterback. I watched some of that Patriots game.
I don't want to watch Jarrett Stidham in the Super Bowl. So
that's my other confliction. It's like, I don't want Denver in the Super Bowl with Jarrett Stidham at quarterback. Like, because if they play Seattle or the Rams, they're just going to get eviscerated probably. And it's like, all right, so I don't want Denver in there with Stidham. I don't want the Patriots there. I wish the Patriots weren't here this weekend, but they're here. So, and I feel like watching Drake May throw in the snow this past weekend, I kind of felt like, and I've seen Matthew Stafford a few times now up close playing Carolina the past month. I feel like Drake May's the MVP of the league. Like, for what they did, they feel like they're 2 years ahead of schedule, and they did spend money on defense.
They are ahead of schedule.
Yeah, they're way ahead of schedule for where they're supposed to be. Mike Vrabel, I'm sitting there like, why did the Titans fire him again? Like, what was it that made them decide that there was something better than what he's doing in New England?
And they've gone back to a defensiof head coach in Robert Saleh, which is what Mike Vrabel was.
That's what he was. Yeah. So it's like, what did you just do? Like, you just deleted a year or two off of the franchise or whatnot. Yep. Milton Williams, the guy that the Panthers were trying to sign the offseason that was going to go here and then shifted last minute to the Patriots. He's been a huge addition to their defensive line. Their defense is sound. Their skill players are good. And Drake May just seems like this conductor that's just throwing at 70% completion clip, like all over the place. And every time it leaves his hand, I'm just like, man, that looks really good. Like, man, that looks really good. And
this is why some people in that draft were saying that Drake May should be the number 1 pick, that he had the most upside. And I'm not saying that I don't have really any issue with the way that draft played out, but he's having an incredible season, that's for sure.
JP's ears must have been burning because he caught it on Facebook here. What are you taking tonight with the Heels minus 11.5?
He's late. I told him under. Yeah. I mean, over on the Heels game.
He's taking the over. He mentioned it earlier. It must have just popped in. But you got Ryan Stone in the house. Best bets with Ryan Stone. So you're taking the halftime. You said Denver by 3.5.
Plus 3.5. Denver.
Plus 3.5.
First half in that game.
Any prop bets or anything in that one you've been looking at?
Not yet. I'm kind of trying to see who Denver's running backs are going to be because I did see where J.K. Dobbins has his window to practice has been initiated to return. Now, that could just be in case they make the Super Bowl. But
yeah, because don't they still do the thing where they skip a week after this week and then the Super Bowl? So
it could just be for the Super Bowl. So he probably doesn't play this weekend, but just in case, I haven't taken anything there. I do think in the Seattle game, with the Charbonnet injury, I took Kenneth Walker over 85.5 rushing yards. I think Seattle's approach is going to be, we're not going to let Sam Darnold lose this game. We're going to make you score on our defense.
That's what I was kind of counting on. Was
very difficult to do. And Sam Darnold this season, I mean, granted, they did win one of those games against the Rams, but 2 touchdowns, 6 interceptions against the Rams this season for Sam Darnold. So I expect a lot of Kenneth Walker for the Seahawks. So I like over 85.5 rushing yards for Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, especially with that running back hurt. That's out. He's going to get some more carries. I feel like Seattle might be the best defense I've seen this year, which is surprising because you don't really see a lot of Seattle, to be honest, unless you go searching for them to watch their games. They're never top of mind for me. until they play Carolina. And I'm sitting there watching. I'm just like, man, like it's a bunch of guys you don't really know very well, but they play sound defense. Hell, our second best cornerback, Mike Jackson, came from Seattle. We got him for a seventh-round pick.
I mean, they've used picks there. I mean, Witherspoon was a top 10 corner when he came out, and he went number 7 or 8 or something like that. They signed DeMarcus Lawrence from the Cowboys, which was a big get.
Yeah.
They also have another Williams on the front line as well. So I mean, they built a very strong defense. I mean, honestly, the weak link there is Sam Darnold. So as long as Sam Darnold stays out of the way, I think Seattle's got a really good chance to win it out.
As long as the quarterback doesn't do anything, then they should be good to go. Yeah, if it's regular season, if it's like August or September to December, the past couple of years, Sam Darnold is probably the guy you want. But once you get into January, you don't really know what Sam Darnold you're going to get. I could easily see Matthew Stafford outplaying him. The Rams were kind of touted as like the best team the last month of the season, but
here's the thing about the Rams. They haven't really, I mean, they've, I've heard a lot of the criticism, and even Sean McVay criticized himself after the game against the Bears on Sunday. He should have criticized himself for how he's coached this entire postseason. He was awful against the Panthers with some of the play calling and some of the decisions. They made some decisions that absolutely kept Carolina in that game.
Yeah, I agree.
I ain't really been really impressed with him. And so for somebody that's been so touted as such a great coach,
that's crazy. Yeah, because he's kind of like the wonder kid. Like, well, he's like in his like 40 something at this point. We talk like he's 25 years old, but he's kind of touted as like the model now. Like that's what these teams want to go after. I mean, there's 7 or 8 vacancies right now. Actually, no, I think it's 7 since Harbaugh got hired by the Giants. So I think it's 7 out there right now. And for the Panther fans watching, Ejiro Evero, according to Joe Person this morning, did complete his second interview with the Raiders, but he left the building. So I don't know if that's good or bad, because if they wanted him, they would have just kept him there and hired him. But it's crazy to me how Panther fans are trying to push Evero out of the building. And I'm like, you realize he took a defense that was like 31st in the league and moved up to like 15. Like that's good.
McDermott available.
Who's available?
With McDermott available now.
That, you know what? I asked David Glenn that question yesterday, like, because I knew the answer, but Panther Twitter is a whole different animal, and like they're all like, "Oh, McDermott's free. We should go get him and bring him back here." And I'm like, how many jobs have you worked where you were let go and then opportunity presented itself for you to come back in a lesser role and you were excited about it? Like that doesn't happen. Why would he come back here? Like it doesn't make any sense. And he wouldn't get fired.
I mean, I don't think it's plausible. I think if McDermott's coaching, he's a head coach somewhere. But
he's gonna get one of these head coaching jobs. And people were trying to compare it to like Robert Saleh and his situation. And DG expressed it perfectly. He's like, that was completely different. Robert Saleh went to the Jets, fell on his face, never really had a quarterback, and had to kind of go back to defensive coordinator. Sean McVay has won division championships, been to the conference championship.
One thing about Robert Saleh, he actually built a decent defense with the Jets, which is his specialty. They didn't do a great job addressing the offensive side of the ball. So I don't know how much of that was actually his fault.
And now they've kind of given away those pieces that he had put together on defense. They traded them all out to bottom out again, even though they never really unbottomed out. They were kind of like this already. So weird stuff. Anything else from the weekend that caught your eye that you want to throw out there for folks to go check out on FanDuel or DraftKings or whatnot? Because it's
not right now.
Snowed in, so people are gonna be bored. So they're going to
not right now. I will definitely have stuff for college basketball for Saturday morning, but those lines don't come out until Friday night. But those will be posted on my Twitter at Rhinestone Sports.
Yeah, follow him at Rhinestone Sports over on X, and he can get you maybe put some money in your pocket this weekend. Again, I was just checking the weather report. Everyone's too scared to say what's going to happen. Like they're not, they're all over the place. I've seen 18 to 22 inches. I've seen 1.5 inches. I've seen ice. I've seen all snow. No one's going to really know until this is Wednesday. This is 1:00 Wednesday when we're doing this. Probably Thursday night, you're going to probably start seeing some actual totals. And then honestly, I think it's supposed to start Saturday. I just found out if there's any East Forsyth folks watching right now or listening later, the Hall of Fame ceremony that I'm supposed to MC this Saturday, they just moved it to February 7th. And high school, the Duke Carolina game, they moved it to right at 6:00. They moved it right there, February 7th. So I'm like, fantastic. I'm like, can we do it the 31st? They're like, no, there's a home game on Friday. We can't set it up in time. I'm like, all right, fine. Because I was supposed to go to a watch party. The B-Dot's hosting in Charlotte for Carolina Duke that day. I haven't even told him yet. So if he's watching, it'll be the first time he hear it. I can't go because they moved the Hall of Fame thing to February 7th. And then the next weekend is Valentine's Day. So it's like they can't. So it's fine. It's fine. But the
way Carolina's playing, you might not want to watch that Duke Carolina.
Yeah, that's what we were kind of talking about on the show last Sunday. I was like, maybe I don't want to be there for that anyway. So it might work itself out. But follow Ryan over at Rhinestone Sports over on X. Tomorrow, we've got the host from Winning the Division coming in. We'll go a little bit more in depth with the conference. Not tomorrow, Friday. We'll go more in depth with our conference championship previews with Ryan Smith and Ben Shroop from Winning the Division, former NFL tight end. You can catch their stuff over on the Keep Pounding Podcast Network, powered by the Fans First Sports Network. So for Ryan, for Demetri Ravanos, who came in today, shout out to everybody that stopped by. Shout out to John Mundy, who claims he's working for a living. I don't believe that to be true. We know you don't have a job, JP. I don't know what it is you do throughout the day, but this,
I don't know.
I don't know what he does for a
He's
living.
overpaid, that's for sure.
He don't know what he's doing.
He's overpaid, that's for sure.
He's sitting in a recliner somewhere in a pair of sweatpants, just like watching this on his phone, and about to head to the refrigerator, make a snack probably. So we love you, JP. We're gonna get out of here. We'll see you guys Friday for another